Hi there, I'm Peter Hawley. I'm President and CEO of Fabled Copper Corp, and today I would like to tell you about our 2022 exploration on our Muskwa project, where we sampled as high as 16.05% copper in the general area of the Brad vein copper occurrence. The Muskwa project is comprised of the Neil property, the Toro property, and the Bronson property, all located in northern British Columbia. The Toro property is the location of the Brad vein copper occurrence, explored during the summer of 2022. The Brad vein was visited by a 3-person field team consisting of 2 geologists and 1 geotechnician on July the 2nd, 2022, where it was sampled vertically over 225 meters from the valley floor at 1,160 meters to an elevation of 1,415 meters. A total of 5 samples were collected, 3 floats and 2 grab samples, and of the 5 samples collected, 4 assayed greater than 0.5% copper. A sample of float collected at the valley floor returned 0.65% copper, whereas a grab sample taken 8 meters vertically above assayed 4.98% copper and 1.08 grams per ton gold and 0.61 grams per ton silver. Note the gold content, as this is rarely seen on the property, and this is another question yet to be answered. 19 meters vertically above the sample just described, and as you can see, float sample D723647 consisted of quartz with minor malachite copper alteration with 20% chalcopyrite as massive patches disseminated and as fracture filling. This assayed an impressive 13.85% copper with 0.15 grams per ton gold and 7.42 grams per ton silver. A further 182 meters vertically, grab sample D723648 reported 0.74% copper with 0.02 grams per ton gold and 0.8 grams per ton silver. As you can see, this sample consisted of white quartz with minor malachite copper alteration and some gray siltstone fragments, and contained 1 to 2% chalcopyrite at patches. The final grab sample taken was at the highest point sampled at 1,415 meters vertically and reported only trace copper, gold, and silver. On August the 5th, the same team explored the Creek Valley north of the Brad vein occurrence, and a total of 8 float samples were taken over a vertical elevation of 31 meters, with 1 sample reporting an impressive 16.05% copper with 0.84 grams per ton gold and 5.29 grams per ton silver. Note that the gold and silver showing up again. Of the 8 samples taken, 5 reported greater than 0.5% copper. At an altitude of 1,142 meters, a sample of float assayed 0.14% copper and 0.43 grams per ton gold. Whereas, as you can see, 2 meters below, sample D-723795 of quartz with minor carbonate patches and shale sill fragments with moderate malachite alteration and 2 to 3% chalcopyrite, as blebs and disseminations returned 0.24% copper and 0.13 grams per ton silver. Again, a further 3 meters vertically below that last sampled, a massive quartz carbonate vein with 2 to 5% disseminated chalcopyrite returned 0.55% copper with 0.68 grams per ton silver. Yet another 3 meters vertically below, a large outcrop of vein float was sampled and assayed 0.94% copper with, again, 0.42 grams per ton silver. Now, as you can see in this photo, 2 meters vertically below sample D723799 is composed of a massive white buff quartz vein carbonate veining with moderate malachite copper alteration and 3 to 8% disseminated chalcopyrite, and this reported 5.07% copper with 0.19 grams per ton gold and 2.27 grams per ton silver. Again, note the gold and silver showing up. A further 11 meters vertically below, float sample D723800 of similar veining returned 5.51% copper, 0.62 grams of gold, and 1.14 grams per ton silver. Again, gold and silver values. And sample D-723801, 17 meters vertically downslope of similar veining, reported 0.47% copper with a trace of gold and 0.16 grams per ton silver. Finally, at the floor of the valley, following the creek north of the Brad veining, a large quartz vein was encountered behind a waterfall. Float sample D723802, taken at an elevation of 1,111 meters, of gray-green grayish quartz with mottled brassy yellow with green spots on chalcopyrite. This is when it was broken on a fresh surface. The sample had up to 35% chalcopyrite in massive patches with blebs with 2% bornite with the chalcopyrite. And this sample returned an impressive 16.05% copper with 0.84 grams per ton gold and 5.29 grams per ton silver. Again, the gold and silver content. All samples locations were taken with a GPS along with a GPS-enabled field camera of photos of the sampled units. The photos, sample locations, all assay data pertaining to the assays taken, and that was 36 elements we assayed for, were tagged in geotag format for plotting in .kml or .kmz GIS systems, such as Google Earth. This is a little bit like your Apple phone noting where you took a picture, but more details being compiled. Well, that's the beginning of 2022 sampling of the Muskwa project. And already we have not only found a new extension of the Brad veining, but also a gold-silver domain with the copper found in this area. Certainly appears worthwhile to follow up on. Thank you for watching, and follow us as we explore for fabled green copper in northern British Columbia.